So I first heard about Green School when we were still in Scotland. We'd been living there for 14 years, and I was just stoked that there was something so wonderful coming to Taranaki. My husband and I met in Taranaki, so it's a place that was special to us, and we would come back here for summer holidays in the middle of Scottish winter, which was always a nice reprieve. I really loved the innovative approach, not just to sort of the learning, but also to the space. I'd been doing a bit of research on the importance of the school environment to children, and the school that they were at in Scotland, it was a good school, but it was in a building that looked a little bit like a prison. It had the cast iron bars or wrought iron bars out the front, and it had a field that was being taken over to put a car park for a train station. So obviously the thought of coming back home to New Zealand and having that outdoor lifestyle was really appealing. And then to combine that with a sort of a non-traditional, innovative learning approach was something that was super exciting for us. Yeah, we chose Green School. I guess initially when we first came back, we did try sort of mainstream schooling. It was a step up from the schooling that we had in the UK in terms of outdoor spaces. So the local schools have orchards and these lovely things. But there's still a traditional focus on academics and large classes, sometimes streamed. And it just felt like, our children weren't necessarily being recognised as individuals. They weren't known. And they were doing well. They, fine academically, but maybe sort of feeling a little bit like on that treadmill and trying to keep up and being mildly stressed going to school, and I didn't feel that who they were was really coming out. So when the opportunity came up to join Green School, it's just, we jumped at it. For us, for my husband and I, it didn't involve us applying for a visa to come to New Zealand, because this is where we were born, not locally in New Plymouth. We've moved to New Plymouth. But in terms of New Zealand, this is where we're from. But we do have a bit of experience going through the visa process in the UK. So, changing visa categories and applying for indefinite leave to remain, and then going through the naturalisation process. So we've got some empathy for how challenging and expensive it can be, but also, how it can be worth just investing a little bit of money in a professional to help support you through that process, and it gives you a lot more certainty and confidence and makes things a lot easier. So we did do that for our last renewal in the UK, and I definitely recommend looking into that option if you're coming over this way, so you can feel a little bit more relaxed about the certainty of taking this step. And we feel very blessed to be Kiwis. It's a brilliant place to live. Growing up in the mountains and skiing and snowboarding and being on the lake and just diving around the coast, it's a real sort of, nature's playground, and we're lucky to have a little bit of everything here. So in terms of my experience finding accommodation, we were quite lucky. We did have family members who had moved to New Plymouth before us, and so we did have a bit of a landing pad. We did end up purchasing our own property, and we got really lucky. We've got 3.5 acres, so we've got a wee orchard, lots of space for kids to run around, lots of trees for them to climb. So, it's a little hair-raising to look out the kitchen window, but it's also a great privilege that they can do that, and I feel really happy that that's the lifestyle that they've got. Also, they're learning about chicken husbandry, so for me personally, I think it's really important for kids to be sort of prepared for a range of different futures that might come upon us. So I want them to really understand technology and innovation and what's happening in that space. But I also want them to know how to look after animals, livestock, chickens, and to grow a garden. And that's something that I feel is, ties in beautifully with what kids are learning about here at Green School. In terms of choosing Green School over other schools, I mean, we're lucky in New Zealand that we have a really good quality of schooling. That was something that we noticed, particularly being over in the UK, is that we have this diverse experience that for British kids often is kind of behind a paywall. They need to go to what they would call a public school, which is the New Zealand's version of a private school, one that you pay money to go to. But in New Zealand, we still, even with regular schools, we have opportunities for to participate in rowing or yachting or horse riding, and that's, there's lots of opportunities. Green School in particular really, really emphasises the outdoors, and I think the adventures that they send them on, whether it's part of the Duke of Edinburgh program or just part of their regular hikoi, it really promotes capability, confidence, team building. They go on multi-day adventures. Most recently it was mountain biking in Rotorua. Prior to that it was caving. So some really, really cool experiences. And there's also opportunities for parents to experience some of these things as well. So there was just last weekend a group from Koru, a group of maybe 5 or 6 different families all met up at Waitomo Caves. So there's glowworms and abseiling and all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, nice opportunities for outdoorsy parents as well. And when it comes to the best memory, or maybe like the most valuable success, what comes to mind is probably, it was within the first semester of our oldest starting here. He'd been learning drums for a little while, and he'd been sort of playing, learning, taking lessons by himself, practicing by himself in the garage. But joining Green School, my tour mark, saw that there was a real interest in music, and he got him to join a little band. And within the first semester, his confidence had built to a point where he was able to perform a couple of songs in the band, and it just brought tears to my eyes. It's such a small thing, but I guess what you want is your kids to have the confidence and the self-knowledge to be able to go out and challenge themselves and work with others and be brave and do scary things. So yeah, I was really proud, and it was one of those things that kind of made me feel, we've definitely made the right decision. When it comes to the community, it's a really interesting community with people from a range of different backgrounds and with different interests from all over the world. And I think it's quite appealing for us because, having been the people who are away from home, living overseas, you get used to those communities because you kind of gravitate towards multinational communities. So even in Scotland, we had Scottish friends, English friends, Spanish, German, Dutch, a range of people. And so it's been really nice to be able to carry that on a little bit here, where it doesn't feel that different from before. It's different people, but the diversity is sort of similar, and I really like that. People are quite generous with sharing their skills and knowledge and talent. One is with Val here, who teaches yoga, and that's been really, really great. She's super welcoming. I hope that you get to come and meet her. Yeah, and I guess, I don't know, I just feel like if people have an excess of something, whether it's produce or there's things that kids have grown out of or sports equipment that's available, it's quite a generous sharing community. People like to share resources there, and kind of ties into the whole environmentally aware, anti-consumer side of things.